That's after this week's shorter than usual edition of See Here.
Hello and welcome to a special exhibition aimed at deaf people, which is being held here in London. The National Council for Educational Technology has organised workshops, lectures and hands-on trials of a variety of computer programmes, which are of interest to young and old. We've asked two people with some knowledge to go along and be our guide. So it's over to David Jackson and Bosco Keown.
Combien vous boire en tout? Le lait, 36 pence.
This is a package called Signs of the Future. It's designed as a package to help to teach deaf people acquire a foreign language. And in this case, the foreign language we've aimed at is French, the French sign in the top window, but we've also accompanied these with a BSL window and an English lip window. The signing is also available in slow motion, as you can see in the top windows. This is aimed at the 16 plus audience, so we're looking at young adults, young deaf, hearing impaired adults.
Can you tell me what this is?
This is a project organised by the Tate Gallery, actually their education department, along with Artec, a multimedia organisation. The project looks at symbols and just exactly how they're used in paintings, both past and present. And it's also looking into how deaf people can use multimedia for access.
So can deaf people benefit from this?
Well, I think that there are benefits for them. I mean, when you look at society as a whole, there are both deaf and hearing people, and they can all benefit. Deaf people can learn about the Tate Gallery and will have access to the exhibit. They can get information about each of the paintings. Now, if you're hearing, you can get information about deaf people's experiences through their BSL.
I noticed that the BSL video screen is very small. Can it be enlarged?
Well, it is possible now to have a larger video picture, but when this was made last year, the technology was still developing, and videos do use up a lot of the computer's memory. But now, technology has developed so quickly, it is possible to have a larger video picture.
And has a very visual approach to science. A content text, for talking, for dialogue, for exploring ideas. And
realising the world outside their own school and outside their home.
I don't know that the deaf community is interested in computer information. Some deaf people have a resistance to computers, probably due to a lack of training in the past, I don't know. But nowadays youngsters are really into computers, and I think in the future this younger generation will really take off with them.
We need to see a lot more software with sign language. There are still very few. Perhaps there will be in the future, but we've got to stress the need for more. The children are so into computers and so keen. They're a different generation. They're besotted with them. It relates to them and will benefit their lives, so it's certainly worthwhile.
Multimedia is a very powerful way of bringing together pictures, still pictures like photographs here, drawings, diagrams, and linking them with sound, which can be music, sound effects or speech, and then bringing in as well text, information which can be read. And all of this can be linked together very powerfully in a multimedia computer like this one. I think multimedia offers all people, but particularly hearing impaired people, a very powerful, very exciting way of accessing information. Particularly the visual elements of multimedia are very compelling, and certainly the pupils that we've used them with are very excited and stimulated by them.
We are actually under review for the situation at the moment. We're hoping that I think with the different medias that you can use, the motivation aspect of it would be, I think, very beneficial for the children that I'm teaching with. The bit I'm slightly concerned with is the accessibility of the literacy levels, as to whether the children that I teach can actually access that.
What I did notice that was missing on there's no sign language or anything.
Yeah.
So do you think that's important to have sign language clips on computers like this?
It would certainly be a huge benefit, because it would then enable the children to actually learn far more independently, as opposed to being reliant more on the teachers to interpret the content. It would give them much more self-esteem and prestige, I think.
X-ray. You can click on that thing. X-ray. Now click something.
This is a program called Hyper Studio, which is a multimedia title, which we're very excited about, because it allows people to develop their own multimedia.
Welcome to our program about waste. To move around the program, click on the buttons on the screen.
How difficult is this program to use?
This program, Hyper Studio, is very easy to use. It was developed for use by children in school, particularly primary school children, and it's made so that everything happens with button clicks rather than needing to write computer programming language. So, for example, if you want to put some text on the screen, if you just click on the text button, it's just like a word processor, and you can type in text. But the really exciting bit is when you get to adding buttons. Here we have a button that adds a video onto the screen. So when we click on the button now, it runs a piece of video which is collected with an ordinary camcorder. If people are confident and comfortable with using a word processor, then with a little bit of tuition, it's ever so easy to become a multimedia author.
I know this is the first time this exhibition has been held for education and technology for deaf people, at long last, and I think it's about time too.
Yeah, I think what really excited me today was to see materials that deaf children can actually use themselves. What we've seen are packages that can be used creatively.
I've just recently started to learn about computers, and most of them are the same. Manufacturers need to be made aware and given information. As long as we're patient, something will turn up that we can relate to.
At this conference, very few deaf people went. And that's been one of the main criticisms. And if our next item is anything to go by, perhaps that was a good thing. Because what do deaf people do after they've been to a conference? They go to a pub to have a chat, just like hearing people do. But there are some pubs that are not prepared to allow deaf people in. So watch next week on BBC One at 7:30, a programme called The Invisible Wall. The programme's about discrimination and people not being allowed into clubs and pubs.
There are 6.5 million disabled people in Britain. Each of us has faced the invisible wall.
Now, thanks to the latest secret cameras, we can show you exactly what it's like.
It's a normal weekday night and John McHale is getting ready to go out for a drink. Nothing unusual in that, you might think. But tonight is different. Tonight John will be using a secret camera to show us the other side of the invisible wall. John and his wife Janet are part of the country's biggest minority. They're disabled people, respected figures in the local deaf community. And tonight John is trying to find out why deaf people can't get into nightclubs in Bath. He's joined by his friends, Justin and Tom, and also by a British Sign Language interpreter. The first club they try is Joe Bananas.
Members? Tickets? You get tickets?
Oh, we do.
Tickets, not party. Oh, God. Party tonight, party private.
Private?
Card, sorry.
You need a card?
Yeah, it's party private.
Will that be up to a certain time
No,
or what?
all night. We'll do.
All night?
Oh, yeah,
okay. If the bouncers had said something like it's too late or the place is full, then yeah, okay. The four of us couldn't get in and we could see that there were loads of other people going in without a problem. It's supposed to be a capacity of 400 people, and so I'm absolutely convinced it was a case of discrimination.
So do try to make a date with the programme on Wednesday, 7:30 on BBC One. It's called The Invisible Wall. And next week we'll have a small group of deaf people discussing the issues raised in the programme. See you next week.